Hello again, YouTube. My name is Bree, and in today's video, I am doing a repainting, which is something I don't do very often. But being that it is MerMay, or the season of drawing a mermaid every day for the month of May, or, just one mermaid a year like I do, if even, I decided I wanted to repaint this Punk Pufferfish I painted back in 2018, 5 years ago, in this Etchr Sketchbook. It's weird because in my head he looks a little different than he did, because it is something I really liked at the time, and it's easy to forget that things weren't as good as your brain makes them out to be when you're like, yeah, that was pretty great. And then you look back on it, you're like, yeah, I could see how I've improved quite a bit over the years. But basically, I haven't been very motivated to paint this weekend, and I don't want to push myself too hard because I am starting Justin Donaldson's oil painting class next week, and I will be painting a lot in the next few weeks. So, seeing a lot of mermaids, because like I said, it's MerMay, I decided I should probably participate by drawing a single mermaid, and then I got the idea of maybe revisiting this old Punk Pufferfish, and just seeing how I've changed in my painting style over the past 5 years, which is wild to say. So yeah, like I said, I don't do a lot of repaints. I just don't like really revisiting things. I think part of it is just once I do something, I'm just ready to move on. I'm done with it. And the other part is just there's always that little bit of fear that what if you've gotten worse. So obviously my styles changed quite a bit. I think I've improved a lot. Maybe you disagree. That's okay. When styles change, it's hard to judge because sometimes people are more, a different style appeals to them more, and there's definitely a style shift here. But yeah, it was really fun revisiting this one. I think kind of out of spite, this was my favorite mermaid I've ever painted, and that's because one of my friends did not like it at all. I think he just likes his beautiful mermaids, and this is not a beautiful female mermaid, so I was very fond of it and he was not, and therefore he was more endearing to me. But yeah, I think part of it is there's just so many really cool sea creatures out there, and a lot of times people, when they paint mermaids, it's the same kind of Little Mermaid style, and that's not to say everyone does it, because I've seen, hi Gino, I've seen so many really cool mermaids that people have done for all kinds of different sea life, so it's just kind of an overgeneralization. But I wanted to explore some different types of sea creatures. So back in 2018, I had done this Punk Pufferfish, a jellyfish, an anglerfish, and a couple other more generic mermaids. And I don't know, just this guy was really fun to me. I guess I was thinking, pufferfish, they have spikes, so I kind of got the 80s punk vibe. Not truly, because obviously he's not wearing a leather jacket with studs, because I don't know, leather doesn't really work in water, and also I don't want to imagine what kind of animal you would make leather with under the sea. So we're not gonna, honestly, it doesn't really make sense to me that mermaids wear clothes because I don't know. So I still gave him punk jewelry. In the original, he had spike hair, and when I first opened the sketchbook, I wasn't really sure if my reasons for giving him spikes were because he's a pufferfish, or if it was because I was still more into comics and video games and a little anime where spikes were kind of more of a norm than the exception. So I'm in my mind, he's not puffed up, so it didn't really make sense to give him spikes. But now looking back, I kind of wish I went with the spike hair again, because I was thinking it was a shortcut. Maybe I didn't know how to draw hair otherwise, but I don't think that was the case. I think it was an intentional choice that I just forgotten about. I've since gone back to the other paintings I did around that time, and I realized my art was a little bit more diverse, and I did a lot more hairstyles than I realized. So yeah, it was just me making a conscious choice that I completely forgot about by now, but that's okay. I had a lot of fun painting this non-spiked mohawk, so no regrets there. Otherwise, I tried to keep him pretty similar to the original. I did make him a bit more muscular, and part of that was I wasn't sure if I was uncomfortable painting muscles at the time, or if I had a conscious choice to make him more scrawny. But I think it probably was more of a conscious choice at the time. But looking back on it, like pufferfish, when I looked up pufferfish again, they're very blocky. Until they puff out and they get all rounded, they are kind of really angular fish, like kind of boxy. So I wanted to carry that into the muscle structure of the mermaid himself. But yeah, otherwise I pretty much kept it the same as the original. I did learn to draw a spray paint can a little better because I think it's pretty obvious looking back on it that I probably was holding a Coke can and used that as my reference and didn't actually remember what spray paint looks like. Now it's still a little wonky, but it's better than it was, so points there. Otherwise, this was a pretty quick sketch. I had a busy weekend. It's Mother's Day, so I was out of town for a day, had a really lovely day with my family, and yeah, just wasn't really motivated to paint. Did I talk about this already? I think I did a little bit. Just, I'm a little tired, burnt out, and I just had a hard time getting started on painting this weekend, but I'm glad I did it. I had fun with this. It was fun to revisit him, and maybe in 5 years I'll repaint him again and see if I'm into painting the same dumb stuff I've been painting for the last, at that point, 10 years. We'll see. So, yeah. I also kept the anglerfish tattoo, anglerfish skeleton, and I don't know why. I find their skeletons completely fascinating. I think I just didn't realize like the actual lantern part would have been part of the skeletal structure, and I think that's way cool. I mean, it makes sense, but it's such a cool looking skeleton. They're really wild fish, very spiky, and their skeletons are so cool. So if you haven't seen an anglerfish skeleton before, don't think I did a great job of it here. Look it up. They're kind of wild, and you should see it for yourself. Yeah. Otherwise, I think part of what amused me about this idea, which had I had more time, I should have doodled it, would be the idea of what he would look like if he was all puffed up. Like, actually puffed up, all round with his little spiky hair again and his spiky fishtail. I'm easily amused. So, yeah. That's something. But yeah, otherwise, like, the spray paint can, I did actually go back to Instagram and eventually look it up. I'm like, what was I thinking? Did I have, like, some explanation in mind for, like, how the spray paint in the sea would work? And apparently I had thought that through at the time and decided he tagged boats. So I don't know, maybe he just in the harbor or port drawn anarchy symbols all over the bottoms of boats. I don't know. But apparently I had put thought into that back 5 years ago. Otherwise, yeah, not too much else to say about this guy. I don't really remember a lot of what I was thinking. Apparently, my husband had actually helped me pick out the kind of anglerfish, or not angler, pufferfish I was painting for his lower half back in the day. And I don't really know what kind of pufferfish we'd picked out because I didn't list that. So I think they have other names too, blowfish and porcupine fish. Is that another one? But yeah, I want fish. I kind of miss having fish. I had fish a long time ago. I never had a pufferfish though. I do remember going to the aquarium and watching pufferfishes and like cheering them on, hoping they would puff up, but of course they didn't because they're perfectly at ease in their aquarium. Pufferfish are also pretty cool artists. I think it's pufferfish. Yeah, it's pufferfish. They make like really cool structures, or at least this one kind does, on the sea floor to attract a mate. So that's pretty cool. Kind of goes in with the spray painting thing. Maybe. I don't think he's attracted. Oh, sorry, there's a flash there. I don't know what caused that. Excuse me. But yeah, so I really did have fun revisiting this. I don't think this is something I'll be doing too often, going back and repainting things I've done before, just because it's good to move on and try different things. But it is nice to have that point of reference of here's something I painted before and here's me revisiting it in my current style now, and just seeing your own growth. It's interesting. And also I suspect I spent a lot more time on the first one, and being able to speed up your process and do more is also something very nice. I did try to go with the same paints. I thought I used Schmincke on the original. The sketchbook was the B paper mixed media sketchbook, and I considered using the same paper because I still have pages in that sketchbook, but decided against it because I wanted to be looking at the original at the same time I was painting. So also, I'm just not used to that paper anymore, and they don't really work in the same mixed media sort of way, so it would be a little weird to paint on that now. I thought the original was my Schmincke watercolors. I did get them pretty early into my painting experience. They were on sale because it was kind of a dinged up tin, so I jumped on it. Definitely didn't need that early in my painting journey, but I'm glad I got them. They made me really fall in love with watercolors. I'd been using the Kuretake Gansai Tambi before that. But apparently, according to Instagram, I tagged Sennelier, so maybe the yellow was using lemon yellow. I did get that in an Art Snacks box, so I guess I still had it out. But yeah, otherwise, mostly the same paints, I'm sure. I probably relied heavily on the Naples Yellow Reddish back then for skin tones. He was pretty pinkish in the original, and I'm glad I moved away from that. It helped get me painting skin early on, but it was definitely, I needed to learn to mix my own colors at some point. Otherwise, I also use colored pencils, which is why the original is probably so bold. I used to always outline my paintings with colored pencil and then go in and scribble on top of it as well. So yeah, there was a lot of colored pencil in there. And then also FineTec Mica, the silver, like all of the studs and everything were all done with the silver paint. And I considered bringing out the mica here, but I wasn't really feeling it. I didn't really see the need to. So yeah, kept this one a little simpler in that regard. Less supplies, fewer supplies. Otherwise, yeah, I really did have fun revisiting this, but he's dumb, but I like him. I'm attached to my dumb painting. I wish I'd spent more time on the pufferfish body itself, but I was fighting the sunlight. Kind of got back late yesterday, Mother's Day, and then my camera I was painting, and it got too warm and shut itself off, so I did lose just a little bit of footage. But then when I woke up this morning, the sun was already coming up because it's light out way too often now. Yay, summer, or spring technically. And yeah, I didn't have much time before the sun came out and started like ruining my lighting setup, so I didn't have much time to work on it, but I think I got him to a good enough point where I'm pretty happy. There's some things I would do more of, but that's okay. I decided not to give a background or anything because, once again, keeping it simple, and yeah, the original didn't have any sort of background either. So yeah, otherwise, not much going on, not much to talk about. Things have been going better, at least. Things have been settling down at work, and I'm finally getting a bit of breathing room, so I'm really hoping I can focus and really engage with the oil painting workshop and keep up with that. I don't really know what the next few weeks will be like for videos, I post videos every other week, so we'll see. We'll figure out if I have time to do both. If not, I'm going to spend more time in oils just because I invested a bunch of money on oil paint and the class, so very excited to get started there. Yeah. Otherwise, I hope you're all doing really well, taking care of yourselves, and yeah, painting some fun stuff. If anyone else participated in MerMay and wanted to share any of their stuff, let me know down in the comments below. I'd like to see it. No matter what kind of mermaid you painted, it's just always fun to like interact with people and see what other people are working on instead of just talking to myself and sending it out into the abyss somewhere, the abyss of the internet. But yeah, I got nothing else to say, and I need to get some water. But yeah, take care of yourselves, and I'll keep you posted. If I don't have videos, I'll share something in the community page just to say what's going on and what I'm working on. But otherwise, if you're interested in seeing any of the oil stuff I do, I'll probably post it to Instagram, but I probably won't actually try to record anything because I don't know how to even take a picture of oils right now. It's too shiny and I am at a loss. So we'll see. Otherwise, I hope I am back in 2 weeks with a new video, and I will talk to you then. Take care. Bye.